Good afternoon, Roseau staff. Today's skill module, we're going to talk about working offline in Google Apps. And this is a really nice feature that exists for the different apps within Google Drive and really allows you to work anywhere with or without an internet connection. So if those of us who do a lot of traveling this time of year, you might find yourself someplace where you don't have Wi-Fi or internet connectivity. So this is really handy to be able to work on different documents that you've already created during that time. It's also a really nice way of leveling the playing field for students who may not have access to the internet at home or may have limited access, and they can still do assignments that you maybe assign them to create within Google Docs or excuse me, Google Drive, and it's still that level playing field. So you don't have to worry too much about whether they have it or don't have it, connection to the internet. So the first thing you need to do is you need to open up your drive. So you go to, from any of the apps, make sure you go to the grid, and then it'll give you a drop-down menu and you would select your drive. I happen to have mine open already. And since I did the training up in Roseau, they've actually changed what the interface of Drive looks like. This is kind of the new look to it. And they've organized the different folders up here at the top rather than on the side, or excuse me, the labels. Remember, we had that whole folder versus label conversation. So they've organized those up at the top now rather than over on the side. Another nice thing that they did was now we have icons rather than more of a list. And the icon look, it allows you to see kind of a snapshot preview of what that document looks like compared to just seeing the name. And so if you're anything like me and you can never remember what you named or what you called a certain document, and you search for it up here. But another nice thing is that you can also take a look at what the preview of that document was as well, right in your drive. So that's kind of a new look. If you don't have this yet, chances are up at the top somewhere you'll have a tab or kind of almost a pop-up type ad that'll tell you that there's a new drive and that you should enable it. It's preference. It's up to you if you want to move to the new one or not. But just know that if yours looks different than mine, that would be the reason. But you should get a message at the top that you could click on that so it would look like mine. So in order to work offline, the first thing we need to do is enable our drive to work offline. And what's going to happen is as you're editing offline, it'll save to kind of a temporary folder, and then when you come back online, it'll sync with your Google Drive and it'll update everything that you've done. So we're going to find that up in the gear, or in settings. So we're going to click on the gear for settings, go to the settings menu, and one of our options, it's the third one down, is offline. And I've already set mine up to work offline, but all it is this checkbox right here that says sync your work to this computer so that you can edit offline. Once you make sure that that is clicked, or that there's a checkbox there, then you're going to go up and hit the done button. Now this is going to enable you to work offline. And one of the things about working offline is that you have to make sure that you bring up the document that you want to edit before you actually lose your internet connectivity. You can't open a new document in a tab if you don't have that internet connectivity. So you need to make sure that you kind of plan ahead or have your students plan ahead. So if you know you're going to be editing something, bring it up in advance of you going offline. I'm going to go ahead and search for one that I've created, and it's working. There it is, offline in Drive. Once I click that, it's going to bring up, hopefully, there we go. It brought up my document about working offline in Drive. So now what I'm going to do is, and I can still, when I'm offline, I can still go back and look at what I have in my drive to a certain extent, as long as it doesn't have to populate the list. So you want, but like I said, plan ahead. Make sure you open the documents that you want to actually edit for this. So I'm going to pop back to this tab, and this is going to be the document that I would edit. I've written a couple things here. It's just so you get kind of a sense of what it looks like for sample text. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn my Wi-Fi off, just so you can see what this would look like if I were offline. So now I've turned it off, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start making changes. And you can see up at the top here it says saving. And now it says all changes will be saved offline. So, and if I hover over that, I get a message that says offline changes will be synced when you go back online. So that's what clicking that checkbox allows you to do. So I can go ahead and make any changes that I want to save, want to make to the document. So the changes are saved to my computer. I'm going to say to the hard drive on my computer. We'll just say. So now it says, again, it still says all changes are saved offline. So this is still there when you're offline. And now when I go back online, then it will sync to my Google Drive. And remember, Google saves every 3 seconds. So, and that's true even if you're saving offline. So it says all changes are saved, and I should be back online real quick here. And then this message, I'm going to go ahead and refresh the page and see what it says. So see how when I refreshed the page, it initially said computer, and then it updated and said the hard drive on my computer. So as I refreshed the page, it actually, I just did Command R, which is a shortcut for refresh. As I refreshed that page, it automatically made those changes that I did offline. Now the key is that you have to continue to have Chrome up when you're offline. At least for now, that would be my recommendation. Because a student might say, well, yeah, but I closed Chrome, I quit out of Chrome, that kind of a thing. If you don't, depending on when, and the issue there is when it actually saves. It might save, because it saves periodically. If it doesn't save fast enough, a student might lose something. So I would say that as you're working offline, keep Chrome up or just have them minimize it, that kind of a thing. But don't actually maybe shut the whole thing down, because you would hate to lose those changes. Now this is still a newer feature of Google Drive. So there might be some wrinkles to work out here and there, but it's also can be a really nice feature, especially like I said, for your students who maybe have limited internet connectivity. The working offline feature works for all of the different apps within Google Drive. So you can do slides, spreadsheet, draw if you're so inclined. But the big thing is that you have to have created the document first. Once you're offline, you can't create a new document. So make sure that if you're doing it with students, have them create that document first, open it up, keep it open, and then once they go offline, then they'll still be able to edit as long as they have that checkbox in their actual settings checked. So I feel like it's a very handy feature of Google Drive. I hope that you can make good use of it in what you're doing and what you're having your students do. As always, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate. Email me, give me a call. In fact, my email is jseuntjens@nwservice.org, and my phone number is 218-681-0891. So feel free to give me a call, shoot me an email. If you have any questions on Drive or Google Docs in general, or Google Apps for Education, excuse me. And additionally, if you have anything that, I know as we've been doing these skill modules, we've covered kind of a wide variety of topics. If there's something specific that you're looking for, please feel free to email me, because I'm definitely looking for more ideas for what your needs are in terms of what you want to see, because I don't want this to be too much of a one-sided thing, and for the last couple skill modules I can maybe cover some of those pieces. So so please don't hesitate to contact me, my email or by phone there, and thanks so much and have a great afternoon, and we'll see you in the next skill module. Thanks.